Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third ever episode of the Last Resort podcast. The thing you listen to when the internet has nothing better to offer.
Halloween special.
Whoa! Take two.
Take two.
Okay, just behind the scenes quick, we did record 10 minutes of this, but then things went badly wrong. I won't point the finger, but yeah.
My PC shut itself down.
I think...
Not pointing fingers, but I think I hit it with my foot.
Point a finger at yourself.
Just point a finger at myself, yeah.
Adele stares at you miserably from above your computer. Okay, so Doctor Who again. It was
for the second time.
It was really good.
I loved it.
It might be my favourite episode of this series. It's not Lucy's. Hers is Rosa. I'm remembering this well.
We've already talked about this.
Okay, but okay, we can act. We can perform.
Yes.
Time Vortex. The Time Vortex was really good.
Agreed.
Time Vortex and the shot that. Why are you laughing? I was doing fine, and then you start laughing.
Sorry.
And I really love the way that the TARDIS they flew it like back in Tennant's era when it was just really hard to fly, and it was rattling all over the place and shaking, and it's in really difficult.
because in Smith's era, it wasn't like that. You have absolutely no context if you're just listening to this, but we've talked about exactly the same things like 2 minutes.
Just like staging the same conversation. We'll like fire. Shall I just like fire through everything we said? Super quick.
Sure.
Okay. We really liked Yaz's mum. We liked the way that she shipped everyone with the Doctor, and
yes.
The fact that
I'm going to talk about the gay stuff in a second.
Okay. I'll leave that for you. We also both love the way that the Doctor only referred to Yaz's mum as Yaz's mum.
Yes,
and it kind of shows how much the Doctor likes Yaz. And also, more on that later. Also, it was really good the way that the Doctor seemed really alien in the way that when the Doctor takes companions somewhere, they're like, "Oh my god, an alien planet!" And she did the exact same thing, but for tea at Yaz's. She was like, "Yeah, tea at Yaz's, this is gonna be amazing. Is everyone going for tea at Yaz's? I can't wait for this." It seemed to like make her day, the fact that they were having tea at Yaz's, which is really cool. The Graham and Grace scenes were done really well, I think.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, and the bluntness with which Grace was there and then she wasn't meant it didn't go too far, so it wasn't like, "Oh, Grace is back." It was a really good way of visually showing grief and the fact that Graham can't stay in that house at the moment and he needs to go away with the Doctor to heal in an active way with Ryan rather than wallowing, which is really good. The spiders were really creepy. The CGI was really good. They were well done.
And it wouldn't have been so good in Eccleston's era.
No, because they would have had worse stuff.
It was 13 years ago.
The politician guy made for a really fun kind of antagonist. And his thing about, "Do what every civilised person would do and shoot it with a gun," was just like a really good line.
Such an American thing. I feel like an American, well, not all Americans, but a lot of Americans would say something like that.
Well, it's some Americans. I think it's kind of good how many Americans actually don't like guns. But then, anyway, that's quite political.
Yes, let's not going to.
Let's not upset anyone. Ryan in the letter,
especially the ones with the guns.
Yeah, the ones.
Sorry.
Ryan in the letter was really good as well.
Yes, because I think it. I'll talk about that. Because the way he said, I don't like the way he said like proper family, as if he was going towards, because he thinks Graham is like proper family. Yeah.
Chibnall's doing a really good job of building up that arc for both Graham and Ryan, of Graham getting around this grief and getting over that, and Ryan getting close to Graham and realising he has a place there. It's really good. Yaz at the moment is a bit kind of like open-ended and a bit kind of like there. but hopefully they'll do more with the fact she wants to be challenged more. And as I feel like in episode 1 and 2, they did quite a good job of showing her as someone who was, confident and wanted to go out and be in danger and solve things. But then in the last couple of episodes, there hasn't been as much as that, which is kind of annoying. But
I think it showed that on the inside on the outside she's very like, yeah, let's do this, but on the inside she's very, I want to do this, but it's like scary.
yeah.
It shows that like vulnerability to it.
Yeah, she's got a good balance. And then,
are you still there?
Yes, can you not hear me?
Oh, yeah, sorry, cut out. You're still cutting out.
Okay.
You're back.
Okay.
Yes.
If this keeps happening, we'll just do a Facebook call instead, because that might be better.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and the ending was a bit strange. The fact that the doctor was like, "No, you can't kill them, but you can lock them in a room to slowly and painfully die." It was kind of like, and then the way that the politician just like disappeared and left.
Yeah.
But then, as many people have said, that could be building up to all of these antagonists who have just disappeared in every episode, returning at the end, maybe.
That would be hell of a... Well, it wouldn't, but it would at the same time.
So it would be really good, so long as they did it in a way that made sense. And
yes.
In my head, I'm kind of thinking maybe that guy with the vortex manipulator kind of goes around and finds people who have been annoyed by this woman called the Doctor.
Yeah, because
he
didn't actually explain it, did they? Yeah.
Yeah, but if as one thing that annoyed me about Smith's first era is in the last episode or few episodes, they got back like Churchill and all like a Vincent van Gogh painting and that the Queen Elizabeth, and like they brought everything back in, which was really cool, but it was kind of weird because it was almost like just by coincidence it happened that they were all people that only Smith had met. But part of me was thinking, well, if like literally in real life, what's to stop it being anyone from the Doctor's past being there? So it was kind of a bit...
Yeah.
But I feel like if they did it where this guy goes around finding people who have met this woman called the Doctor, and it's just people with... Because one thing that I like about this era so far is I feel like we're seeing... It goes straight from one story to another. There's not much that we're missing out on in between. So it's like we've seen everything Jodie's Doctor has done, which is kind of nice. So there's no weird other stories going on behind the scenes we don't know about. But yeah.
Okay, are you ready for my theories?
Yes.
Again. Okay, so Sam knows all this already because we talked about it. But I have a theory that there is, and it's a long shot theory, but because of Yaz's mum, because she like just nonchalant asked whether or not Yaz and the Doctor were seeing each other, but then she also said, "Are you seeing Ryan?" But she said it in such like a not as in like, "Are you gay?" She just said it, "Are you seeing her?" So my theory is that Yaz is bisexual, right? And I have, because Yaz has been quite quiet and all that she's either the Doctor's gonna have a thing with Yaz, or Yaz is gonna have just a thing for the Doctor.
I think that there's quite good potential in that theory. It could.
Because I think that we know that the Doctor is into women, and I doubt very much that would change with her now being a woman.
And like it would really give something to Yaz's character if that happened, and would make sense for why she wants to keep going with the Doctor, because she kind of like wants to stay close, and so.
Because she isn't really, other than like Ryan. She because she's like her family annoys her a bit, but she has this like great job that she's always wanted. Why is she other than exploring the universe and all that? Because because Graham has his reasons about the thing and about his wife and Ryan. And Ryan has like nothing going for him, but Yaz has a lot. I don't know. I hope. I fingers crossed.
And then
because there's been so much subtle gay.
Yeah. And I'll also quickly mention the thing I said before about how when Yaz's mum said about Yaz and Ryan being a thing. I think it was then. I can't quite remember. Right,
Yeah, yeah.
like Ryan gave this kind of like annoyed kind of look, like not rolling his eyes, but it was almost like internally he was, which at the time I thought, is he gay and he's annoyed that people are assuming he's not? So I was like, maybe, but that's a very long shot. But I want to say that and get it out there, because if it is true, I can then go, haha, I worked that out all along, and if it's not, I can never mention it again. So yeah, we'll see about that.
Do you want to set up a Facebook call?
What?
You're just gone again.
Oh, okay. Let's.
You're back now.
Okay.
Just keep recording, we'll keep talking, and then switch over.
Okay, cool. It doesn't really matter that you didn't hear everything I just said, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Is that it for Doctor Who then?
I guess so. Yeah.
Very good.
Should we? What segments are we gonna do for this Halloween special? Put some spooky music in the background. Then when I said that.
Okay. So I've not got the craziest spooky stuff because I've got something else to talk about. So if you want to do some spooky Halloween things,
do you wanna? So you wanna talk about your thing, and then we'll get into all the spooky stuff.
Okay, cool. We'll save spooky for then. So
Yeah.
this weekend, and I heavily hinted this last episode. I went and did something really cool in Manchester. Yesterday on Sunday.
Which I guessed what it was, which I didn't think I would.
Yes, Lucy finally worked it out before it actually happened. I went to a book signing for two amazing authors who you may or may not have heard of, called Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera, who have each individually written 3 books and have just written a book called What If It's Us, which has been published recently. And if you've heard of the film Love, Simon, Becky Albertalli wrote the book behind the film Love, Simon. So they're 2 really, really good authors, and I went and met them. And they're also 2 of the nicest, kindest, most caring people you could ever meet. Because
I'm actually kind of jealous that I found out.
Really? Because you could have come.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
Well, you didn't tell me what it was.
Yeah, I know, but I thought, well, there's no one else in our group who's read any of these books, so I'll just go.
I haven't. Well, the thing is, I probably would have read the book because I like the film.
Yeah, but I've talked to you
list.
about Simon versus the Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, and you said that you only read half of it and stopped. And for me, that's like blasphemy. How can you read half of that book and then stop reading it? But yeah,
I know I'm really bad at reading books.
What I did with that first one is I actually got the audiobook and I listened to it on the weekend. I went to Huddersfield Uni on the train. And I just did it all, and it was really good. But yeah, so there was about like 300 people there, and there was this massive line to get books signed and meet them. And when I got to the front of the line was just as long as when I'd been at the back of the line.
Oof.
So it was really long, but they didn't rush you at all, and they didn't make it feel like get in, get book signed, get out. They really listened to everyone and made you feel really like they were really pleased you were there and you'd come. So they were super duper nice. The book is really good. It's called What If It's Us. So if you want to get it. You won't regret it. It's a really good read. And that's really what I have to say on that. It was brilliant. And thank you very much to Becky Albertalli and Alan Silvera for being brilliant. So yeah.
Hello. So are we gonna? I had are we gonna do ghost stories? Do you think?
If you want a ghost story, do a ghost story.
Okay. I'm trying to search it, but for some reason my internet's not working, which is probably why our call keeps dropping out.
Because you found one, didn't you?
I did. Well, I have one of my own, so I'll probably talk about that in a sec. I'm just gonna look it up on my phone. Okay. Not mine, the other ones. Okay, so mine. And this happened quite a while ago. It's when I lived in my old house. It was a few years ago. Basically, I used to always sleep in my bed with this blanket that my great aunt made. It was made out of like a little bit of fabric, so it was really cool. I always slept it with on my bed. I never didn't sleep it with on my bed. I woke up. Well, I didn't. It was in a dream. But I woke up in a dream, and I didn't. The blanket wasn't on my bed. It was really weird because I always have it on my bed, and my phone is always plugged in. I always plug my phone in before I go to bed, but it wasn't plugged in and it was on my bed, and I had the lock screen wasn't my lock screen. It was the blanket hung up in my bathroom, and the bathroom was full of water. I was like, okay, so that obviously I'm gonna, go check my bathroom out, as you do, as all the ghost stories go.
That's what you do.
All the
when
horror
there's
stories
something
go.
dangerous. Go towards it.
Yep. So I went to walk to my bathroom, and in my bathroom, my blanket was hung up like it was in the picture, but the room wasn't full of water, but it kind of looked like it was, almost. And then all of a sudden, this figure, this really pitch black figure, started emerging from water that wasn't there. I can't really explain it. It's weird. And but his eyes were just completely white. Which was really weird. And then they started emerging, and then I woke up in real life. My phone was charging, and it had normal background, but my blanket wasn't there, right? And so obviously, I went to my bathroom, but it was in my bathroom, but it was folded in my bathroom. What? There's probably 70 different explanations for that.
It's probably just you left your blanket in your bathroom, and then your brain subconsciously remembered that. So then you dreamed about it.
But I swear my old house was haunted. I always used to wake up with my pajamas ripped, and I had bruises on my legs. And my mum's like, "You're probably just sleepwalking." And I'm like, "What could I have possibly ripped my pajamas on?" I was 14.
Wait, what?
Age.
You woke up and your pajamas were ripped and your legs were covered in
just
bruises?
No, so it was just ripped in one place, and there was a bruise where it was ripped. And now it only happened once, but things like that happen. It's creepy. There's always things like creaking and.
But then, I feel like your house now has to be haunted, as it's right by an old mental asylum.
It is by an old mental
hospital
asylum.
thing.
It's less haunted though, I swear. There's less noises.
Less haunted. On the haunted scale, it only gets 7 out of 10.
Do you have any ghost stories, Sam? You've experienced a ghost?
No. The only thing I have is the JJ thing, which I can.
You just talk about the JJ thing.
Okay, so a very long time ago, about a year ago.
Just about a year ago.
When me and Lucy first kind of properly, it was like the first day that we actually kind of talked to each other, ever, which is crazy. We
I'd thank JJ for this podcast.
Yes.
We'll go to our sponsor, JJ the Ghost.
JJ the Ghost. So we were bored in a free in September, so we had the brilliant idea to hold a séance in the social.
Of course, yes. We didn't have any candles. We weren't allowed candles.
No, sadly. But we did kind of think about maybe tomorrow we could bring some candles. But we didn't.
So we get told off.
So I drew, or Lucy drew a Ouija board on a piece of paper, which I still have to this day. Actually, yeah. And we got my protractor out and put our fingers on it, and we just sat there, and it slowly moved across this piece of paper, and it said, yes, there is someone there, and then it spouts out the name JJ, which is conveniently 2 very close together letters. But ever since then, well, okay, so we researched it then, and we found that there was someone in our local area who died quite young who was called JJ, which was wow.
Have a heart attack.
Yeah.
He was a teacher as well when we were in school. So.
If anyone can be the ghost, it's probably him. And now every spooky thing that happens, we're like, JJ, are you there? Is this JJ doing this? So like a door would blow open and we'd go, JJ? So
is that you?
JJ is a very important ghost in our lives because of that story. So
he brought us together.
Yes. He began our friendship. And
then this friend. Sorry, go on.
No, you go on.
I was just going to say that he brought our friendship together, and our friendship brought this podcast together. So you can thank JJ for this. We have JJ to thank
for this glorious podcast. Yeah. So if you want to become friends with someone, just ask them if they want to hold a séance, and then you'll be bonded for life. Brilliant.
To be fair, we were the only ones open to doing it. People were either too scared or too skeptical. The whole time we were doing it, I can't remember who it was. It might be probably Lucas. Kept on saying, "Oh, it's just your subconscious doing it."
Yeah, but I was like, I don't crazy believe in this stuff. Like I know.
No, I don't crazy
yeah.
believe in it. I'm kind of like on like in the middle of it. So it could exist, but it also couldn't. Like it's like really far fetched that it could happen, but so many weird things happen. How could it not?
I'm just like, it probably doesn't exist, but it's kind of cool. And if it does exist, it's like
That's kind of my
cool to do.
It's kind of my attitudes towards religion.
Oh yeah.
It's like it probably doesn't exist, but I
you never
can't say that
know.
it doesn't, and so it could be kind of cool if it did.
Yeah. But
I don't know.
okay, that's the story of JJ, everyone.
What other Halloween stuff can we do?
We really should have planned this, but I spent.
We should have planned it.
I spent on Saturday. Okay, so from where we are to get to Manchester, it should take 2.5 hours. Okay, but it kind of took 5 hours because we got 2 stops down on the train. Literally, we'd been travelling for 15 minutes, and then the announcer goes, due to a signalling failure, this train is terminating at this station. Could you all please alight the train? So 300 people get off this train onto this platform, go down the steps, and there's one person at one desk in this station, and there's 300 of us with no idea what to do. But then buses pull up outside, like normal buses, just doing their normal route, going to Birmingham, which is where we wanted to get to. So then, like 300 people cross the road and get on these buses to Birmingham, which take about 4 hours to get to Birmingham. So, yeah, there's a little rant about British public transport and how bad it is. But
yeah, we had to drive up to when we went to see university in Manchester. We had to go to Chester, which is just below Manchester.
Yeah.
And then stay with a friend overnight because the trains were just they were striking, so we couldn't use them.
Oh really?
Oh. On the day, we had to go down the night before. Anyway, let's not talk about trains on the Halloween special.
To be honest, British public transport is kind of scary.
It is
it's
pretty
scary
terrifying.
Business to get into. But yeah.
Anyway, what are you going as for Halloween? You dressing up?
Yeah, definitely. It bugs me when people are like, "Oh, I don't want to dress up. Do I have to dress up?" It's like, it's Halloween. It's what you do.
Of course you have to dress up.
It's like going to like a firework event and going, do I have to watch the fireworks? I don't really want to watch the fireworks. No, well then don't go to the bloody fireworks if you don't want to watch the fireworks, okay? Bugger off. Stay at home. Another rant there for you all. I'm going to be a Hufflepuff, as always, because I want to dress up as a Hufflepuff. It won't be crazy spooky because it's Hufflepuff. I did think about maybe like getting face paint and doing like a Hufflepuff with like a slit throat or something. But I decided my face paint skills would be very bad, so I didn't do that. But yeah, what are you going as? Did you make up your mind yet?
I haven't made up my mind yet. And so my choices are: I could go as a Jedi from Star Wars, because I'm a nerd, or go as Damien from Mean Girls. If you haven't seen that film, it's really good. You should watch it.
I've not seen it.
One of them, I could do both. Both of them were about on the same level, and so like they're not like extravagant. I have like a Jedi robe and a lightsaber, and then I have like a blue jumper and some glasses for Damien. But
I feel like so people would recognise a Jedi and know what you were. But it's if you kind of personally want to go as Damien, I think it'd be really cool.
But Damien. The thing is, people who know Mean Girls will like, oh my god, that's so cool.
True. It's kind of like a cool, like niche thing that people might.
I think I might go. I'm probably gonna do Jedi.
Yeah.
But
maybe like change halfway through the evening. And be like, I've just arrived, guys, and we're like, who's that?
I just realised this is going to be uploaded on Halloween.
Yeah. It's like super cool timing, so people are going to be doing super duper trick or treating.
Yeah, they're going to be searching for Halloween podcasts.
What are you going to do on Halloween? Because we're doing a thing on the Monday before Halloween. But what are you going to do on proper Halloween?
I don't think I'm doing anything. I might like invite some people around, or like ask if we can do something somewhere.
I think so. I've got like this kind of tradition of watching, and if people haven't seen this, you've got to see it, of watching AVPM on Halloween, which is a Harry Potter musical.
I haven't seen that yet.
We should
I
do it on
know.
Halloween because
We should.
my parents are going away tomorrow, so
Who else can we invite?
we could get like Julia.
So let's talk about.
if
You're
Julia's
talking about
fine.
this later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's leave. Don't plan our social life on the podcast. So yeah, everyone, all of the many people listening to this on Halloween, this is what we're doing on Halloween.
Look, it's happening.
Yeah. So
Oh, you've cut out again.
it doesn't matter. I didn't say anything important. It's fine.
Yes, you are.
Can you hear
Also
me
gone.
again now, though?
Oh.
Grrr.
Oh, wait, you're back. Are you? No, you're not back.
Hello.
Oh, you're back.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
We might edit these bits out, but we might keep it extra spooky and have loads of cut out.
Oh, maybe it's JJ interfering with us.
Maybe.
Or it's just my awful Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but maybe, okay, when the call cuts out, JJ is actually saying something, but we can't hear him, and in the final edit, we're going to hear his voice going like...
Maybe we should make another Ouija
Happy
board.
Halloween! I could bring the Ouija board tonight. I could bring the actual Ouija board.
People will leave.
True. Very true. Oh, God.
But we've got like 5 minutes left.
Okay, well, I kind of thought of something, about, we touched on it last week, but it's still very much an issue about the whole Trump administration doing all this stupid stuff about
it's very scary.
Gender.
It is very scary.
And
so this is relevant.
I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and I don't know if
awful and disgusting.
Yeah, I need to begin looking through things in the week and writing things down on notes, as I'm sure that I
could do a conspiracy theory.
Theory. Also,
a spooky conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Also, just quickly, in the Doctor Who episode, when they were talking about Ryan and Yasmin's dad and the whole conspiracy thing, I was like, oh my god, it's Lucy, but as a 50-year-old man. Conspiracies. Yeah, go do a conspiracy theory if you want.
This is a thing called 7 conspiracy theories that may or may not be true. Good. Here we go. Let's not do that one. Do you want to talk about something while I try and find one?
Yeah, okay. So, I'm going to talk about... Oh, is there anything we did in school I could talk about to be educational?
What's the spookiest thing you know from school?
The spookiest thing I know from school is... Oh, I could talk about...
English department?
Yes, the English department is very spooky. I could talk about the assassination of Tsar Alexander II, which happened in 1880. I'm pretty sure.
Do it in 60 seconds. 66
seconds. I've not practiced for this at all. Oh no, assassinated 18. Every single essay I've done, I've written assassinated in 1880. It's 1881. I'm sorry, but it was March, so I was kind of close. Alexander II was assassinated by the people's will on the 13th of March, 1881. It was the 4th assassination attempt on his life. He had survived all of the other ones in kind of ridiculous ways, like he had been on the wrong train, so these people blew up a train but he wasn't on it, or he was late for dinner once and someone blew up the dining room and he only survived because his guest was late for dinner, so he wasn't there. But this time they actually got him. After one bomb going off and not getting him, another bomb was set off and they killed him. He didn't die straight away, apparently, due to, as we read some sources on the event, one of them was a very fantasy story kind of one, which was kind of unreliable. It was over-dramatised, wasn't very good. But quite a few said that he didn't die straight away. He died of his wounds, he was bleeding. And there was actually a third bomber there who didn't have to be used because they managed to get him on the second one. And the reasons for him dying was really because he upset a lot of people in his reign. So the emancipation of the serfs happened in 1861, which is basically when the serfs, who were slaves and were owned by the nobility, were freed and allowed to buy land and do what they wanted, and that led to a whole load of other reforms, but a lot of people said that he didn't do enough, and he wasn't helping people, and he was trying to find a balance where he could reform to say, I'm reforming, but he didn't actually want to change the country. So he upset a lot of people, that meant he died, end of story. Hopefully that was about 66 seconds. Job well done.
Okay, that's good. I was just about to message you on the Discord chat saying I found one.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so this is a pretty well known conspiracy theory. I think it's probably a conspiracy theory that was around before conspiracy theories were really a thing, like a known thing. And it was that we never landed on the moon. That one's been around a long time. So next year it'll be 50 years since we supposedly, quote unquote,
Happy Moon Day.
landed on the moon. I did read through this, probably should have. It says, but not everyone believes that he did it. I thought you said, but no one believes.
Yeah, because like loads of people it's like green screened or something, don't they?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Wait, let me read. Found only okay, so a 1999 poll found that only 6% of Americans doubted the Apollo moon landing happened. But as the 21st century brought a rise in internet use and different standard of truth media, the number has very much risen. Opinion polls taken in various locations have shown that between 6% and 20% of Americans, 25% of Britons, and 28% of Russians surveyed believed that the moon landing was faked, which is a crazy amount of people who believe that it was fake.
Oh my god.
Oh, did you hear my dog bark then?
But why would they want to fake it though?
Are you?
Well, I get that. Have you cut out? Is that? Oh,
You've gone again.
Oh, I can't just.
Oh, you're back. You're back. Sorry.
Kitty.
Oh.
Carry on talking about.
Lottie's barking.
Lottie's barking. Tink's just walked in the room.
Well, you're cutting out again.
I swear he's growing. Anyway, conspiracy theory. Was that it?
I'm just gonna not talk until you come back. I'm gonna cut this bit out. Are you?
Hello.
Wait, say something.
Hello. Howdy. Hi. Hello.
You're like, oh, well, you're back.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, are you though?
Oh, I don't know.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Continue talking. There was one of the early promoters of the moon landing conspiracy theories. Oh wait, so one of the first promoters of the moon landing conspiracy theory was actually Fox Television Network. Surprise, surprise. Because in 2001, they aired a documentary-style film claiming that NASA faked the first landing in 1969, so that they could win the space race. It's kind of stupid, and it's all about like shadows and really stupid things.
A wire.
Yeah. It's not a very credible one, but a lot of people have. Well, I say a lot, but like a very large amount of people.
1 in 4 people.
Yeah, I'd say about that.
Well,
of Britons anyway,
yeah,
a quarter of Britons do, and more like just under a quarter of Americans do, and then the Russians, all of the Russians, believe it.
28% means everyone.
Is it? We're on 32. Should we?
Yeah, I think that's about time to end. I think.
So thank you very much for watching. I always say that.
Thank
you very much
the
for
whole
listening.
thing again. You got it
Go. Take 3.
Take number 3. Yeah, hopefully next week we'll like prepare some segments a bit more because it's half term. So
and we'll prepare.
Yeah.
We did not prepare for this episode.
I was in Manchester for the weekend. Yeah.
I know. I have no excuse.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't. Wait, yeah, I was in Coventry on Saturday.
Just use it as an excuse. I was in Manchester too. They don't know you went to Manchester. Yeah. But
yeah, anyway, thank you very much for listening. I hope you have listened to if you haven't listened to the first 2 yet, just go listen to the first 2. They're so much better than this one.
Yeah, this is definitely the worst so far. But happy Halloween. Hopefully the fact it's Halloween, make up for it. Yeah.
Have a spoopy Halloween. We hope you have the spookiest of all the Halloweens. We hope you don't get murdered by any ghosts.
Or JJ.
Or murderers.
If the door slams.
I hope you get all of the sweets with chocolates. Trick or treating.
Okay. Well, See you
Okay.
soon.
Bye, guys. Bye.